I moved in on a Thursday. By Friday night, the floor was quiet. Long weekend, most people left. I had a 9 a.m. lab Saturday, so I set my alarm for 6:30, shut the blinds, and tried to sleep. That's when I heard it, a soft squeak. Not the bed, not my chair. It came from the shared lounge. It's two squeaks, then a slow drag, like someone sliding their palm along the wall. I told myself it was the ASC duct expanding. At 2:17 a.m. it happened again, closer this time, followed by a hush of air, as if someone stood inches from my door and exhaled through their nose. I held my breath and watched the bottom gap of the door for a shadow. Nothing. Saturday morning after lab. I noticed something I hadn't seen before, a small black scuff mark at shoulder height on the lounge wall, about a hand's width long, right across from my door. The kind of mark a bag strap or a jacket zipper might leave. I rubbed it with my thumb. It didn't come off. That night I stacked 2 mugs on top of each other in the kitchenette, balancing them on the edge where they'd fall if the counter vibrated. I turned off the lights and left my phone recording on the desk. Around 3 a.m. I woke to the faintest clink. Not a crash, just china kissing china. Then something brushed my door. Not a knock. A press. I whispered, "Hello?" The pressure vanished. The hallway light under the door brightened, then dimmed, like someone just stood in front of it. I got out of bed every step, making the old dorm carpet complain under my feet. I put my eye to the peephole. The corridor was empty, but from the corner of my vision I caught movement, the lounge. I unlocked the door, eased it open, and stepped out. The lounge light was off, blinds closed, TV dead. My mugs were on the floor, not broken, lined up, handle to handle, side by side. My phone, when I replayed the audio, picked up soft footsteps at 2:53 a.m., a single mug clink, and then quiet breathing for 13 minutes. Sunday afternoon, the RA finally replied to my email asking about the suite mate. They took a leave of absence last term, she wrote. Shouldn't be back this year. I almost asked why the room had a key left in the lock from the inside, but I deleted it. I didn't want to sound paranoid. That night, I shoved a chair under my doorknob and texted my mom. "Everything good?" she asked. I typed, "Yep." Lying felt easier. At 4:06 a.m., I woke because the chair under my doorknob ticked, just once, like it settled. I stared at the chair. It didn't move again. But I knew what that sound meant. Pressure from the other side. Morning brought courage. I knocked on the empty bedroom. No answer. I tried the knob. Blocked. I crouched to look under the door. Dark. But I smelled something faint. Not lemon cleaner. Not spaghetti. Mint. Like toothpaste. Fresh. I checked the shared bathroom. The second sink was dry, but the mirror had a single fingertip trail, drawn from top to bottom like someone dragged a wet finger straight down. I went to class, told myself I'd talk to housing after. When I came back that evening, there was a note on my door in tidy block letters. "Stop leaving things in the kitchen. You're loud." No name, no signature. I stared at it for a full minute. Then I looked at the door across the lounge. The lock's tiny indicator was turned horizontally now. Unlocked. My Roz email from earlier still said no one would be back. So who left the note? I knocked once, no answer. I turned the knob. The door opened 2 inches, then met resistance like a chain. Through the gap I saw a neatly made bed, the corner of a suitcase tucked under it, and a folded sweatshirt on the chair. I said, "Hey, I didn't know anyone was." The door closed in my face without a word. I left another email for housing. No reply. That night I piled my backpack against the door to hear it if it moved. Around 2 a.m. my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. I answered, whispering hello, and only after did I realize the sound wasn't coming from the phone's speaker. It was coming from the hall. A whisper, my name spoken from just beyond the door, in a voice I'd never heard before. It said it twice, and then soft footsteps retreated to the lounge. I didn't sleep. At sunrise, I opened the door. The lounge window blinds were slightly lifted, just enough for someone to see if I was awake. On the table lay a small travel-sized toothpaste, cap off, a wet streak trailing toward the edge. Housen moved me out that afternoon due to a roommate conflict. They Never explained who was in the other room or why the name was never posted. I asked one last time on my way out if the other room was officially occupied. The Ra looked at her clipboard, then at me and said, "It's listed as vacant." I asked then who left me this, and held up the note. She stared at the handwriting a second longer than she meant to. Then she said, "Please turn in your key."